Hey, what's up, everybody? This is your boy, the dope ass dude, and I am so excited to be here with you all on tonight. So, you guys already know the preliminary things. Like, if you're not subscribed to the YouTube channel, if you don't mind going ahead subscribing to the YouTube channel right now, and then while you're there, click on notifications so that you can be notified each and every time a new podcast is uploaded to the site. And then while you're there, go ahead and click on that like button so that it can be shared with others just like you. Now, if you're not watching here on Monday nights, you can always catch the podcast on the go. You can listen to it on Apple Podcasts, YouTube Music, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Again, that's Apple Podcasts, YouTube Music, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. And then, you can watch the podcast each and every Monday, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Again, that's Facebook, LinkedIn, X, and YouTube. And then if you're not following me on Instagram and TikTok, if you don't mind following me on both of those platforms, you can find me at the Dope Ass Dude Podcast. Again, that's the Dope Ass Dude Podcast on both Instagram and TikTok. I'm going to get Amoon's information out of the way. You can go ahead and follow him on Instagram. You can follow him and find him at Amoon _Razen, and that's spelled AMOON _RAZEN. Now, I'm really excited about having him on the podcast tonight. And I'm blessed that you guys remember, if you watched the podcast on last Monday, you remember Marcus Wilson, and then shout out to Marcus. Marcus introduced me to Amoon, and he was like, hey, dude, this is somebody you have to have on your show. And because Marcus is an exceptional guy, I know that he's not going to hang out with anyone less than that. So I went out, I checked out Amoon's information, his profile on Instagram, and this guy, he posts some of the dopest stuff. Like, he is super inspiring. He is very knowledgeable of the subject in which he's speaking on, and this guy is a load of information, like overload of information, good information that I know can benefit you on your journey. So I'm gonna go ahead and bring Amoon on out because I want this fellow to tell you guys about himself. What's up, man?
What up? What up? What up? How you doing, man? How you doing?
I'm amazing. How are you, brother?
I know we look similar. I don't know. You look like my twin.
I know, dude. It's
Take the
like,
glass off. Look at some difference.
you sure your last name ain't Adams, man?
Man, maybe. I don't know. I'm Jamaican. If you got a little Jamaican in you, we can probably be cousins. My father's Jamaican. But how you doing today?
Nice. I'm amazing, dude. What about you?
I'm doing great. Doing great. Just finished this fast, so I'm trying to get some nutrients in my little protein shake right here.
So how often do you fast?
I do it quarterly, but most times I do quarterly if it's like it has to be like a 21-day fast for me quarterly. But monthly I do like a 3-day fast, at least 3 days, and that consists of like water fasting for 3 days, or I do a dry fast. And a dry fast is not drinking water or eating, because 1 day of dry fasting is equivalent to 3 days of water fasting. So if you don't drink water or do nothing, just do a dry fast. That's gonna be equivalent to 3 days of water fasting. It's real good for your body. It's called autophagy.
Okay, so let's talk about that. So when you're fasting, like, are there moments like, so how do you fight off the thoughts of hunger? Because that's kind of like where, we have to condition our mind in those times too. So like, how do you fight that off?
I fight it off. I think about it. I love food. I'm a vegan, but Jamaicans say ITIL, fertility living. But the way I fight it off is it says in the scripture, fasting plus prayer cast out demons. Fasting and prayer. So if you're not fasting, you're praying, you're not casting out anything. So when I get hungry, I pray. You know what I'm saying? I pray to the things I need to pray for. Because the first thing we had that happened in scripture is that food. If you can discipline food, you can discipline your life. So I look at food as discipline, and you have to have DNC. And what is DNC? DNC is discipline and consistency. If you have discipline, you will be consistent. If you have consistency, you will be disciplined. They go hand in hand, and that's how I kind of fight off. I still feel hungry, but I go do that.
Okay, so and before we started, y'all, tonight he shared with me he ran a marathon in California like last Sunday, and he weighed himself and he weighed in at 187 last Sunday, and he weighed himself today and he's down to 174 in like 7 days. Like,
Yeah,
but that's like running a marathon, and then you've been fasting since you've been back, right?
yeah. The running the marathon, I thought I finished the marathon, I was like 184, but I ate that day. But the next day, I started my journey of fasting because I want to heal my body. Because after running the marathon, my quads was screaming, it was cursing me out. So I said, how can I give my body a natural oil change? And it's fasting. So what I did, I fasted, and then in 4 days, my body healed itself. Sometimes, most times, it take a person a whole week or in a week and a half to come back to their body feeling normal. My body felt normal on Thursday, like 4 days after the race, and it's because of autophagy. Autophagy is when your body eats the bad cells and multiply the good cells. And I tell people like a car, you did an oil change for your car, you put the best gas in the car, you get a steering wheel flush, you get all these things for a car, but we never do it for our body. So the same thing you do for your nice exotic car, you do it for yourself, and your body will run great.
Wow. I mean, dude, I mean, that's like amazing. And we have, I mean, I asked you if you knew this person, Michael Bravo, and you told me you did, you're
Yeah, I
familiar
know
with
about
him and everything. So this cat, he's been on the podcast like several times before, and he's like almost one of the most hated guests on the podcast because that brother, he comes on, boy, he be pissing them off, man, because he be spitting out truth. You know, Bravo is kind of like in your face truthful, but
Yeah,
he does the water fasting all the time, and I mean I watched that brother, and it's like he's
yeah.
amazing. I love that
Bravo,
brother, man.
Bravo been a beast for forever. You know, he alpha. Bravo been a beast forever. So shout out to Bravo. Bravo is a beast and is what he do and his expertise. Like, but if he start talking about water fasting and healing your body, he's telling the truth. When a dog is sick or any animal sick, what doesn't it want to do? It don't want to eat. So same thing, it don't eat. When you get sick, we don't want to eat either. So the universe is telling you your body naturally need to fast. We've been we've been bamboozled to eat all the time and wonder why we all plugged up. You have to if you don't get an oil change in your car, what happens to it? You get all sluggish, it start running as optimal. So just look at the car, look at yourself, and see which one more important. That's how
I
I
love
look at
that.
it.
I love that. I love that. And I see Marcus is out in the comments. Shout out to Marcus. And then
Big
I
Mark.
also want, and Tyson Perry, I see you out there in the comments as well. And then a shout out to Lavette Bell. Her birthday was last week. So Lavette, happy birthday to you. So let's get back to you, Amoon. So Amoon, so like you are into financial literacy. You have a whole platform that is dedicated to like educating people. But one thing I love is that one of your initiatives is you target men and you
Yeah.
speak to men on a lot of things about spirituality, emotional, finances, and mental health. So, like, how did you get into that?
Realistically, I got into it because my own things I went through because I learned most people misery become their mission. I'll say again, most people misery become their mission. So you ask anybody a question like why they doing the things they're doing is because something that has happened in their life. So for me, growing up between Dallas, Texas, and Brooklyn, New York, and coming from the background I came from, I seen lack of financial literacy, understanding, comprehension, and education. I seen the lack of spirituality. I seen the lack of emotional intelligence, the lack of mentality structure. I seen all those things, and I call it SIMP: spirit, emotional, mental, physical. And I ain't talking about simping on a female or anything like that, but I'm saying that I'm talking about those things: spirit, emotional, mental, physical, and financial. So that's like the 5 pillars of teaching and learning that I teach and I live by because you got to change the root before the fruit, and the root is intangible. Everybody look at tangibility of things that you can touch with your hands, but it's the intangibility what matters the most. For example, you don't see oxygen, but without it, you're dead. You don't see stress, but with it, too much of it in a bad way, well, guess what? You die. So I always go back to the intangible things that you can't see, which is the root of things.
I love that. I love that. So you travel around the country and you speak to groups of men of all ages all the time. What is one of the biggest challenges you face when you are speaking to men?
Ego. Ego is the biggest one because ego stands for me. Ego stands for exit God out. You know, a lot of times people exit God out because they don't have faith. And faith, I'm not saying religious faith. I'm just saying like understanding internal who you are. Everything starts with you. Most people, even myself at one point, and sometimes I go through this too. We look out the window instead of looking in the mirror because we hate the reflection we see. So for me, I try to look at myself first. Instead of saying you, I say me first. Because if I can fit whatever I see in you is somewhere in me somewhere. If it's good or bad, well, I don't believe in good and bad, but if it's that type of challenging situation, I look at myself first. And most men I have seen, we have an ego because we have a lot of mother wounds.
Mother wounds. Let's talk about that. When you say mother
Mhm.
wounds, what do you mean?
Yeah, a lot of if I speak for African Americans, so Africans, melanated people, a lot of times we become a we have to try to become a man before we are a man. And man don't mean by age, I mean by mentality structure. So like for me, when I was young, I had to like my mom was in her situation. My mom had me at 16 and she was doing her thing on certain situations that I try to protect her. And as a man, you protect, but I was trying to protect her so young. So as I got older, I was tired of it already. So when you get tired already, you start treating people not in the best ways because you've been worn out, been a slave since you were 8 years old. So that's what I mean by that mother wounds. You know, that's what I mean by that. A lot of people have that.
I love that. I love that. And so you said we look out the mirror instead of looking at ourselves. So how do you shift that though? You know, because like it is, and I always tell people it's hard when you have to do self-examination. It's always easier to look outward and judge other people.
Mhm.
But when we have to dig to the core and really look at ourselves, that's challenging. So, what tips can people, men or women,
And women,
use to start looking inwardly?
find a mentor. Find a mentor. A lot of times we don't seek help. Somebody told me this the other day. They said you rather have you rather have a full grape than have half of the watermelon. So that being said, I need to get a mentor and get a mentor. Then I ask myself why. The best question I believe anyone can ask themselves is why. Why am I the way I am? Why do I think this way? Why do I react instead of respond? Like why are all these different things? So if you can ask yourself why, which is why is the root, that's why it's one of the best questions you ask somebody, because anybody can talk to somebody and say, man, you did this, I did that. But you ask them why they did it, they're like, man, I I stole a piece of chip because I have 83 days. But now you know why they did it, so you can know who they are. So first thing that I did was I reflected and I asked myself why I'm the way I am. And I had to be truthful to myself. See, it's easy to lie to somebody else, but internally you feel the truth, and no matter what come out your mouth. So, but that's one of the steps I did. Ask myself why, and I got a couple of mentors on my hand, and let them tell me, like, be honest with me. You know what I'm saying? I'm very straightforward. That's how I am. It's 100 ways to slice bread, but my way, I'm very straightforward to myself. So I want a straightforward mentor. It's like, yo, you're messing up here, and this is why. Have you ever? And they give me questions. Have you ever thought about this? Have you ever thought about talking this way? Have you ever thought about it in somebody else's mindset and their perspective? And they was like, okay, and that kind of showed me those different things. So that's what helped me out a lot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I like how you said find the why because my guest from 2 weeks ago, that was one of his process, and he said exactly what you said.
Yeah,
Find the why, find the
you have
why.
to.
And it's funny, like you said, many times we never ask ourselves why. Why am I doing this here? Why do I feel this way? Why? We never ask ourselves those things. I think that is pretty dope, man.
Yeah, because we lack that. We lack the why because we're in a world where nobody has no accountability. A why makes you accountable. So why would we want to do it? Because if you say, why are you doing it? You say, I don't know. That's just being silly at that point. You don't know why you're doing something, so why are you doing it? So why takes you to be accountable? And in the society today, we lack accountability. It's one of the biggest, simplest words, but we lack it about everything. Like if I say I'm going to be at the gym at 4 o'clock, but I get there at 4:15, I still lied. I still made it there, but I wasn't truthful. I wasn't honest. I wasn't 15 minutes prior, like the Marine Corps. I was late. So it's not true. But then we expect somebody out in the regular world not to lie to us, but we lie to ourselves every day. When you understand that you lie to yourself more than people lie to you, then that's when you're being full accountable.
I love that. Oh, I love that. I love that. I love that. And it's funny, like how you just said, the why holds us accountable. And I think that's why a lot of people, especially men, we don't reach out to other people because we don't want to be held accountable on a lot of things that we do. We just, and I think a lot of men too as well have been bamboozled into thinking that we don't need other people to walk through our journey with, our path with. We're gonna do this all by ourselves. That is what men do. That's what it's supposed to be like. But I like how you said get a mentor, somebody that's gonna hold you accountable. So was it
Yeah.
easy for you to find a mentor?
Um, I don't say it was easy because not every mentor resonate with my soul. I do things resonate with my soul. Like even like you have Marcus on the show, like me and Marcus used to talk all the time. And I remember when the student is ready, the teacher appears. I remember sometimes he would tell me stuff back in the day that I wasn't willing to hear. You know what I'm saying? So you have to, I'm not saying be ready, but you have to understand your soul and you'll feel it. You know what I'm saying? So I felt a mentor that was very truthful, but also told me their flaws too. If you don't tell me your flaws, then I won't believe you anyways, because we imperfect perfect. We imperfect perfect. So, Yahweh was perfect, but the world threw stones and and hated him and did all the things to him. And we're imperfect. So who not for people to do it to us? And that's the mentality I have. If they do it to a perfect person, why wouldn't they do it to an imperfect person? You know what I'm saying? So, and that's why I think about that.
Okay, so let's break this synth down. So I know
Yeah.
your first one is spiritual. So let's talk about spiritual. So what what teachings do you bring to the table when you're speaking to men about spiritual? What does that mean?
Give me 1 second. Yeah. So when I think about spirituality, why I bring to the table with that, it's basically what you're saying. I ask people why they doing the things what they doing, can break down the spirit. I was like, okay, so you're going through a situation, so why do you think this keep on coming back? Because the first person spiritual is you. You a reflection of God. You know what I'm saying? God's within you. People hate when I say you're God, but you are in the aspect that you are the same as Him when He said you're a reflection of Him. Mike can't do everything else, but you're a reflection of Him. So you're a God. Your inner God speaks to you. Have you ever drove somewhere and it's like turn left, but you turn right anyways, and you get pulled over? That was your inner God speaking to you. So I teach people to listen to their inner voice and not trauma bound. It's about being abundant, but not trauma. Because some people have flags. Like you've heard red flags and all that. A lot of times they red flags are based on the traumas they've been through all their life and during their childhood. A lot of us we have childhood trauma and we have also genetic trauma, like generational trauma. You know what I'm saying? And curses as well. But I help people notice the abundance voice inside themselves. And that's what I mean by spiritual. Like I listen to myself because I know it's not based on ego or pride or trauma because I have been working with that a long time.
Okay, so how do we come from being trauma led to spiritual led? Because, like you said, a lot of times trauma is leading a lot of people to make
So yeah,
decisions that aren't good for them. So, how do we get from being trauma led to spiritual led or spirit led?
being accountable. It all starts with accountability. You can't be spiritual if you blame everybody else because everything starts with you. Once you recognize everything starts with you, then you look at the world differently. This world, you see bees, you see trees and all that. This world, you can learn so much from. You go outside and you see a bee, right? I go see a bee. And I told myself, I said, without the bees, there would be no trees here because it pollinate everything. Everything has a purpose. So you gotta look in within yourself. And once you feel accountable with yourself and say, okay, you can start being spiritual. That means you can still being guided a different way, because trauma just gonna repeat itself with you because you gonna make decisions based on fear and not abundance. Abundance is spiritual, and spirituality only means breath. By the way, a lot of times people think spirituality means anything else. Spiritual means breath, and most people don't breathe correctly. That's why you see all the Taoism people, they go meditate, and it's helping with your breathing because you become one with yourself.
So, okay, so let me ask you this here, because trauma
Yeah,
is something that is commonly used now. You hear
yeah,
trauma
yeah,
like you hear water, that's
yeah, yeah,
something we hear
yeah.
just. So, how do you know if like you're dealing with trauma?
Because you react instead of respond. Reaction is a quick emotion. Boom. You slap me, I slap the hell out of you. You know what I'm saying? Instead of taking back and say, okay, you slap me, okay, let me box a breed. 4 seconds up, hold 4 seconds and blow out 4 seconds. Let me just take back and let me respond to it and not react. That's kind of the thing. What I mean by that. Um, and that's how I kind of go with it. Like honestly, with the spirituality, I go with that. Just basically, it takes isolation, and most people they scared to be isolated with themselves. You know what I'm saying? Be by themselves. It takes a lot of stuff of self reflection, reading proper books, having people around you, and forgiving yourself. The spirituality start with forgiving yourself and forgiving others. You know what I'm saying? I forgive because I was forgiven. You know, so it's a lot. It's a step process to doing that, but it's really a lot of isolation to yourself and be able to ask yourself the proper questions. Ask yourself who hurt me, okay? But who have I hurt? Because what you start seeing, everything's a yin and yang to you. Whatever you have been through, you have done to somebody else. You'll notice that. So why not forgive?
So, when you are speaking to men, do you
Mhm.
find that a lot of men are dealing with trauma,
Yeah.
unrecognized trauma?
Like being macho, being extra, being macho, being extra. Um, that's all of fear. A lot of things based on fear. Lies is based on fear. You know what I'm saying? Being macho because you was fearful at one time in your life, or still now that you have to be buff and bad, but you don't need all that. You know what I'm saying? Gangsters don't do that anyways. But yeah, you do all this because of fear.
Okay, okay. So let's go to emotional. Let's go to emotional or emotion. So like what let's talk about that in your platform, in your presentation. How do you address that?
Most people lay out emotions. They lay it with fear again, fear, and not love themselves correctly. I remember at one time I didn't love myself correctly. No matter if I was in shape or I look a certain way or whatever the case may be, I didn't love myself correctly because I didn't have the proper boundaries. And you teach people how to treat you. Whether somebody treating you is like something because you taught them that way. So you teach people how to treat you. So I have to say, okay, what's my boundaries? And I had more boundaries. I had spiritual boundaries, emotional boundaries, mental boundaries, physical. I went to all those platforms of thinking, and I was like, okay, my emotions. I was reacting. I was like, okay, I get mad quick. Where did it come from? They become from being fearful when I was young. You know what I'm saying? Going through certain situations. Um, I went to like 10 different schools. So all that came to emotions that I didn't care about nothing. But what was the root? The root was that we had a nomadic household and I went to 10 different schools. So I said that's where it came from. Okay, now I know why I didn't feel that. That don't mean I have to be this way because I knew where it came from. So it helped me emotionally. And I read the book Emotional Intelligence too. It helped out a lot. It did. Emotional Intelligence helped out a lot, honestly. That was a good book. But reading, you know what I'm saying? Reading stuff like that, it helps you out with those things. But figuring out the why is the best thing for all of those. To figure out, okay, I'm emotional. Why do I cry? Why do I do this? It's crying bad. When you're a kid, when people say you're a boy, boom, they like, oh, you're a boy, you shouldn't cry. I'll never tell my kids that or my son that is because that will put them in a box. When I say look in the mirror, sometimes the man is looking at the boy in the mirror. You know what I'm saying? He trying to go back and fix up that boy that was hurt when he was young.
Yeah, and I love how you going back to the why of it, because I think a lot of times when we're feeling some way, and if you do ask yourself like, why am I feeling this way? Why am I thinking this way? 9 out of 10 times, it has nothing to do with what's going on in the situation, in the present. It's a trigger that's triggering something off. And I think that's where we fail and why we keep repeating things and finding ourselves in similar situations and doing the same thing over again. Because like you said, we never get to the why. But if you get to the why and ask yourself, like, why am I feeling this way when this happened or when this person do this? And then you deal with the why, then you'll find yourself when they do that in the future, it don't bother you anymore.
Yeah, because the why make you aware. You can't realize if you're not aware of it. And the trigger is the secondary muscle. It's not the primary. You know what I'm saying? The primary is the root. The secondary is I'm triggered. So the why make you aware. And most people not even aware of anything because right now a lot of people live in the matrix. They on autopilot. You know what I'm saying? They just driving with autopilot. They're not like, okay, like I said.
You good?
Yeah. Okay. I can hear myself.
Oh, that's me. Okay, you good? There we go.
Okay, yeah. So, they're basically on autopilot. Not a lot of people think today, and that's why I make it like when I talk to men, because you can't be a king unless you serve. Without the people, we are nothing. If you have a business, you have a YouTube, you have a podcast, without the people, you're nothing. So once you understand and overstand that wow, people, you're nothing, then you look at life differently, right? And that's how I go about that.
So how does this emotional part tie into relationship? Because we hear all the time men are accused of being emotional less. They have no emotions. That's what I hear all the time. Women are saying, well, my man, he do this here, and he shows no emotions. Like, so do you talk about that, emotions in relationships with men? How do they express themselves without feeling weak?
Yeah, I talk to guys about emotion and relationships. I talk to them about that a lot because I know had my shortcomings. I had my shortcomings there. You know what I'm saying? So when I talk to men about relationships, I always tell them, how can I put this? It's has something I would say, but it's work on the man you meant to be and not who you meant to be with.
Okay, explain that. That's good,
So
but explain
repeat it.
that.
Work on the man work on the man you meant to be and not who you meant to be with. I'm saying this to say that is that a lot of times you look at everything outside of yourself. If you just want to be a great man, just be a great man. If anything deter you from your roots, your morals, your ethics, that's not who you are in the first place. You gotta look at your character. So just because somebody do this to me, I mean I have to do it to them back. Basically, eye for eye. I don't have to do that because what they do shouldn't make me be outside of myself and what God made me to be. So a lot of times we play tip for tat.
Like you say, we what did you say? We react and not respond, right? Is that from that reacting and not responding?
Yeah, it's from reacting. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure you heard this before. I always been this way. I always been this way. You know, I always been this way is what got you the same way you at. So that being said, it had to be a evolution to it. And I'm not saying change because change, you can go back to change. You can cut your hair, you can line your beard, you can wear makeup, you can do all those different things. You can change that. But when you evolve, you're something new. I'm into evolution, not change. So I help people evolve and I help myself get better too. And I have people like Marcus and other people around me that's gonna keep me accountable. Hey man, bro, that wasn't right. So you gotta have your spiritual family. Just because you have a person that have had sex and now they're part of your family by blood, don't mean you're a family. You want to have a spiritual family around you that see your highest version of yourself. They speak to the God within yourself. They speak love, light, and peace, and not torment and hell. So there's a lot of little wickets like that around you. And most guys don't have nobody else they can talk to. Because when they say it's lonely at the top, they're not talking about money wise. They're talking about mind wise. When your mind is spanned, your ideology change. Who do you have to talk to spar and iron sharpen iron to make you better? Most men don't even have that. So that's detrimental to success.
And why do you think that is? Why do you think most men don't have that?
Most men don't have it because ego, and a lot of men, we don't listen. That's one, we'll listen, and we stuck in our ways, you know, in our environment. It would depend what environment you in. If I'm in a hood, I'm in an environment of I have to survive. I'm going to conform to that because that's my everyday life, you know. But
Okay,
also,
so
go ahead.
no. Go ahead. Go ahead.
It could be each one teach one, you know, like you got me on the platform or Marcus on the platform. Like you're opening up a platform to help other people see different men have similarities and they have differences too. But they're like, man, that guy said something that resonated with my soul, my spirit. That's good. That's a good thing too. I see a question.
Yeah. So KC, if you don't mind giving us a little bit, because we probably missed that point when you asked that question. What are you talking about when you're asking, could it be self-control? Talk a little bit. I mean, give us a little bit more on that. Okay. So yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, like I do think you do need good accountability partners, people that you can just be completely honest, no judgment. We listen, we don't judge, create that space. But like you said, most men don't have that, or they aren't open to seeing it. Because I think sometimes they do have it, but we fall into this situation that where we were taught men don't talk their feelings. They
Yeah.
just move on with it and keep it going.
And this is the
Yeah.
reason why men die. That's why men die fast. We die because if you keep emotion in, the energy gotta go somewhere. Heart attack, stroke, aneurysm. That's just unbottled energy that you never got out. Women live longer spiritually wise because they get out the energy by talking to their friends about it. Girl, you know this happened. They get an outlet. If you get struck by lightning, it goes through your body and find an outlet. That's how we mess up. We don't have an outlet, so we end up passing along because we don't have a outlet to be able to talk to the person and transfer and spar in the proper way. So those are things we need. We need those things. It's not a want, it's a need. You
I
can't
love
walk
that.
around with emotional weight and wonder why you get smushed.
I love that. I love that. And I think we need to stop practicing saying this, both men and women, that I don't need anybody. We all need somebody. We all need
Yeah.
somebody.
You need somebody to get here. So how you don't need nobody when you here?
Yeah. 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 That's ludicrous. So, okay. So let's go into your next mental. Let's talk about that. What you got?
I love that one. So mental, I love mental because your body follows the mind don't follow the body. So that being said, is that if you know your body follow the mind and your mind don't follow the body, you have to have mental sharpness. No matter what somebody tell you, if you don't have mental capacity to grow and evolve, you're not going to do such. You know what I'm saying? And while saying mentality, it's the words we speak. I can't do this. I never did this. You're manifesting these words out and you wonder why you can't do different things. You can't do anything you want to. Like I challenge anybody this. Give yourself 100 mantras to yourself and say it 3 times a day. I have mantras on my phone, 100 of them. I say to myself 3 times a day. Let me see. And I can actually I have it on my phone right now. Mantras. I have one. So I have a mantra I say to myself. I say, who am I? Amoon. What am I here to do? To elevate human consciousness and speak love. What am I working on? I am working on my patience. I'm working on my humbleness. I'm working on forgiving myself. I am a king of kings. I said to myself 3 times a day. And then I have 100 of them like I am a king, I'm a servant king, I am loving, I am blessed, I am grateful. I speak everything into the present moment. I have 100 of them because what you speak is who you are. That's why what you listen to, what you say, and what you watch is the 3 gateways to your soul. I hear no evil, I speak no evil, I see no evil. Is because you can be in a store right now and Beyonce can come in or something. I'm in love with you, dangerous love or something like that, and you don't know the song, but by next week you singing it because your subconscious mind takes it in, and you be able to start repeating it. So having a strong mentality is a big thing. You know what I'm saying? Speak words of positivity, not negative. Speak life, not death. That's the biggest mental thing is speak life, not death. Everybody talk about what they can and what they don't want. But who talks about what they do want? They don't talk that way. They don't talk that way because we 95% of our thoughts are negative. And if you know that, you'll start speaking more life. So the mantras I say to myself, I'm grateful, I'm all that. If I say this time 3 times a day, I feel great. I feel good because I'm speaking life. It's not your muscles, not none of that. Your tongue is the most powerful thing in speaking because Hitler did a lot of people in by speech, by speech. So it's very powerful. So what you say, what you listen to, and what you see shapes your mentality.
Yeah, I think people just haven't realized the power of their words. They haven't realized that. That's why we carelessly just vomit. A lot of people vomit. Like their words are horrible. And like the scripture even says, so a man thinketh, so is he. Our thoughts create our words. And once we send it out into the universe, it finds its way back to us. But also before it finds its way back to us, what we speak, we hear. So we're feeding it back into our minds as well. And I think that's where we lose it most times is that we are constantly, like you said, speaking death over situations before it even happened. We will speak that we're going to fail before it even happened. And it's just like, if we just realize the power of our words.
Yeah, because you become a soundboard. Like when you say something, you hear it too. And sometimes your thoughts, you don't have to say it because you hear your inner voice say it anyways. So you hit it double time. So of course, that's double whammy, right? And then failure. Most people scared to fail. But if you never fail, you never tried. So when people scared to fail, I just know they never tried.
Okay. So Marcus, I mean, not Mark, I didn't call you Marcus.
Mark,
I'm sorry about that.
Marcus, light skin, I'm dark skin chocolate. I'm mahogany. Now I'm messing. I'm a mahogany brother. Mark skin light. Now I'm messing with you. I love you, Marcus.
I just saw his name there. That was great. But okay, so I mean, we hear people always saying, change your mind, change your thinking. But what do you like really encourage to how can people combat those negative thoughts and those thoughts that are murdering and assassinating their dreams? How do they change that?
The same way they adapt to anything else. I'm gonna be honest with you. That same way they adapt to anything else. But how can you do it? It's the small things. The small things like me saying a mantra to myself. Like if I said it 1 time a day, I'm loving. I am grateful. I let gratitude be my attitude. That's one little thing I added on to my day that made me better. Then the next week I add on something else. I'm gonna meditate or I'm gonna pray for 10 minutes. Spend some long time for myself. Okay, then I'm gonna journal next week. It's like compound interest with finances. It's like compound interest mentality the same way. Like Kobe said, "Oh, you can never beat me because you work out 2 times a day. If I work out 3 times a day, I work out 365 days more than you. Then the next year be like 700. Then next year be 1,000. The next year be 1,300. That's compound. You have a compound interest, your mentality too, not just money, because money is spiritual within itself. You know what I'm saying? So you have to make those things by compounding little things. Because little things become big things, but you have to start somewhere. Just like if you want to get in shape, I'm going to eat a salad every day. I'm going to eat salad 3 times a week. Next week, I'm going to do 4 times a week. Those little things become big things over time because they compound. And that's what you got to think about. You just can't go out there and do everything. You're not going to make it.
But what if you don't feel it though?
What you will feel it. If you only go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. Go.
No, if you only base things off feeling, you're in a bad place anyway. That means you don't have the right people around you. Most people, they can't become the person they need to be is because the environment they're in. You have people around you. That's why I say it's success. You look around your 5 friends and he's a millionaire, he's a billionaire, you next, because they understand that energy is transferred. Because energy is transferred. It cannot die off. You can't create it. It's only transferred. That's a real law, right? So most people around people that don't speak life into them. They're like, girl, I want to do this. Why would you want to do that? Like I have people always say, like, why are you fasting for? But you're a Christian. He tell you fast all the time because you glimpsed the word, you never read the whole Bible. So that's the thing I'm talking about. It's just the truth. So that's what you have to change your environment around you. And most times it's the people. Because a lot of times people are negative to your dreams, your thoughts. I'm pretty sure you start this. People are like, why are you doing that? But now it's doing very well. It's gonna keep on doing well. It's not do linear growth. It's gonna be exponential growth. But you gotta go through adversity and open the box of adversity to become who you are. Because somebody's waiting on you to become who you need to become who they are.
Mhm. I love
So
that. Somebody's waiting on you to become who you are. Yeah, I love that. I love that. But
yeah,
people don't get that. We have so many people, and this has been a ongoing message in every podcast, the
yeah,
importance of your circle and who you are
yeah,
surrounding yourself with
yeah.
and who's speaking into your life, because people are hanging around with people they should have let go a long time ago. And not because the person is bad, but because they've outgrown the person. The person is they've served their purpose in their life, but we're holding on to these people, and now these people are dragging them down.
I ask people a question this. I say, man, right now, I'm on a chair right now. It's if you was right here next to me, I'll say, is it easier to pull me down or easy for me to pull you up? Which one's easier?
Down.
Easier to pull me down. So you just have people around you pulling you down because it's hard to pull you up. When I ran my marathon, I had people was like, I had a couple people was like, man, that's hard. And I was like, it was like, I wish you luck. And I wasn't on no cockiness. I was like, you don't have to wish me luck because I trained for this. I know what you're saying, but for to me and my soul, I don't have you don't have to wish me luck. I ran 480 miles in 2 months for this. Luck's for people that didn't plan and properly plan and properly put the work in. I put the work in. I just gotta go do it. My train was harder than the run itself, you know. So, but that's a mentality shift. And I did do 10 years in the Marine Corps too as well. But it's a mentality shift, right? So is your circle around you because I have people around you, man. I know you'll complete it. I wish you complete it. You'll do a sub 3, sub 4. I have people inspire me. Go kill that shit. I have people talk to me that way. I'm like, yes. But what if I had the wrong people around me? Why would you do that? Be careful. Be careful. You know, people get injured all the time. Why you want to speak that on me? I have people saying, go kill it. Let me give you a gun, massage gun to make you better. Oh, you know you need to do ice bath. They just add it on to me. Add it on to me. It's somebody taking away from you, never be in your life. But that's your environment.
I love that. Oh, I love that because yes, yeah. I mean, that's a whole podcast on itself. You know, the people that we surround ourselves with, and like you said, are they enhancing or are they taking
So
away from you?
it's only two ways: either adding or they're taking away. Either a liability or asset. Asset, something adding on to you, putting more money in your pocket. Somebody's taking away. It's no gray area between that. You know, say if you lukewarm, I spit you out. It's really talking about that it's no gray area. It's white or black. But people want to have gray area because they live in confusion. If you confuse, I spit you out because you lukewarm. The same thing in the scripture. He's talking about life. It's live things. You know, so that's how I look at it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, when I told Marcus I was going to do a marathon, he's like, "Oh, go kill it. I know you'll do good. Go kill it." He didn't say, "Man, be careful." You know, that you check with your provider. You check with that what you're eating. No, he didn't say that. He said, "Go kill it. I know you'll do great." He was like, "If anybody will do it, you do it." That's inspirational. That's inspiring. It's talking to my soul. It's talking to my inner God. He's adding to me. He's not taking away from me because he know I want to do it anyways. Why we say anything negative? Why we say anything come out his mouth negative? We go through that every day. Why not uplift me? And that's what it's about. When you have a compound of people, 2 or 3 people or one person saying that to you, you can't lose. Can't lose.
So okay, so I got to. So this just came to me. So you know, because this is what those people that you just described that'll be like, "Hey, be careful." They'll be like, "Well, I'm just looking out for you. I'm not negative. I'm just looking out for you." Like so, when you have that to happen, because it's a lot of people they don't think that they're being negative,
You know
but
why I tell
they,
them?
yeah. What you tell them?
I don't drink anymore. I haven't drunk in a long time, over a couple of years. But I tell them if I was drinking tequila, you'd never tell me that. You never go tell me, oh, be careful. You did 2 shots of Patron. Oh, you do drinking the adios motherfucker. Oh, you drinking this, you drinking that. You'll never tell me that. Then you never say go look at when I tell them I'm fasting. You never say, oh, go speak to your doctor when if I was drinking, but you tell me if I'm fasting. What the Lord told me to do, you tell me go ask the doctor. But what sin told me to do, you'll never tell me that. I don't tell you when you smoke weed. I don't tell you when you snort coke. You won't never say look out for go have good luck with that. Go talk to anybody about that. But when I'm trying to elevate myself, you'll tell me that. And that's how I look at it. You know what I'm saying? I know it don't mean no harm, but I want you to speak a different way to me. Like I said, I'll tell you in a nicer way, but speak life to me. I'm a savage. I'm gonna speak different to me, man. You know what I'm saying?
So,
I'm gonna be some beast, so you gotta speak different to me. You don't
so
talk to me.
have you
Well,
always had that mentality, that mindset where you didn't listen to people, or were there times when you did allow what people say to you impact you?
yeah, I feel like everything has an influence. Like people have influence on everybody. Like what people say, it does affect you because you'll think about what they said. But then I ask myself what God said about me, not what you said. I know you can say anything to me, but what God said about me, you know, and I ask myself what God said about me, and then he says the opposite. So yeah, what you say can affect somebody if enough people saying it, but that's why your circle gotta be strong. You gotta know thyself. You know what I'm saying? And once you know thyself, it'll hit you, but you're like, okay, that's a punch, but I'm best on Mayweather it. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna get it out the way. But it's just brushing. It's not nothing too crazy. Like if I have a person like you, John, and I'm telling like you told me like, oh, get some shots, get some better shots. If I wasn't who I am mentality, I'm like, that's why you was like, oh, if I'm throwing, I'm not trying to mean that way. You know how to say it to me because to me, you trying to elevate. You're not taking away from me. Like I see you, but you can put this on a different better place if you did this. You're adding to me. I look at it as addition or multiplication. I'm addition, multiplication. So if I know myself, if I was somebody else that know myself, man, why you talking to me like that, man? I don't know that dude. Who's he? Does
Yeah.
he think he like that? His perspective is somebody else's reality because that's their truth. My truth, you trying to help me because I worked on myself and knowing what help look like in a vibration. You were speaking to me is out of love, not out of hate. But it take time to look at that. Cause you say somebody else, they're like, man, he tripping. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I know that's
Yeah.
not the case. Make
Yeah.
sense?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. I'm right there with you. So let's
Yeah.
get to financial. I know that's something that's extremely important to you. So
Yeah.
let's talk about that. When you in your platform, what do you speak on in regards to finances?
When I speak about finances, I really I come to a place of because we all have up and down with finances. I wasn't raised with the right financial literacy, understanding, comprehension, none of it. Even when I got the Marine Corps, I didn't understand that because nobody teaches us anything about that because a lot of times they want us to be in the place we are. It's a capitalistic world, but if you don't know, you can't win a game if you don't know the rules. So a lot of times, so like with financial, I help people protect their income and their assets while multiplying with a tax-free income. So what does that mean? It means, okay, you need to play defense with your money, but also while learn out there, most people have say this, people have car insurance, phone insurance, and home insurance, right? But you ask them if they have life insurance, they tell you no. So you have home insurance, car insurance, renter's insurance, but you don't have the proper thing to protect yourself. So I'm here to help understand how to protect yourself. Not death insurance, but life insurance, tax-free retirements and things like that. Because everybody working to make money, right? But if you don't know how money works, you'll never get where you need to go. You know, it's a crazy thing. For example, a bottle of water costs more inside Love Field Airport than at Walmart. But it's the same type of water, right? Same thing. Why is that? The location. The location make what a water bottle at the airport costs more. So if you know where to put your ends at, you can capitalize on it. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
So are
And so,
people welcoming to these thoughts or and these teachings? Are they welcoming to that, or
yeah,
do you
well,
find it difficult?
I found it difficult because, like I said, the mindset when you were born and you was born and we was taught to spend every dollar that we have. You know, in the black community, that a dollar stays there 4 hours and it's gone. In the Caucasian community, it circulates for a couple of days. You know what I'm saying? So knowing that, as soon as you go get your money and you go to Chase or you go to Wells Fargo, you go to Walmart, it's out the black community anyways. It's out there. So understanding that you have to understand money to grow money. If you say, okay, I have a 401k, I ask you, okay, what's the pros and cons of 401k? It's not bad not to know. It's bad not to know after the fact. We have a conversation like, okay, you don't know? Okay, go look it up. This the world of information. Go look the pros and cons of this up before we can have a better conversation. And that's what happened with me is that I had a 401k at one point, and I didn't know what it was. I just found it. Oh, match me 6%. That sounds good. I was signing away. I ain't read nothing. I ain't go through nothing. I ain't look at nothing. But then I realized I lost like 100, like not 100, but 60,000 in like in 1 year because it goes up and down with the market. If I ask the person, I'll say, okay, cool. Hey, would you want to be taxed on $100 or taxed on $10,000? Which one you want to be taxed on? Most people say $100, but they have their money where it's taxed on $10,000, which is 401ks, IRAs, Roth IRAs. So I'm here to help educate them about stuff like that because I love to help people understand that because I'm tired of seeing my people and our people in general, slave all their life and then they 67 and they still have to work at Walmart. And that's not cool for me. You know what I'm saying? You did all this work, but because nobody educates you and nobody loves you enough to pull you aside, hey, look, have you ever thought about this? What are you doing for retirement? What are you doing this? And that's why I come and play. I want to be able to help people understand that, educate them, because I want them to apply it to their life, which somebody educated me and helped me get on the trajectory I am because I didn't know at one point either. So it's a blessing to me to help other people do that because I want us to win. I want us to know that when people die and they have to go do a GoFundMe account, what does that mean? What does it mean when somebody dies? When they have a GoFundMe, what does it mean? Ask me, what does it mean?
No insurance.
No insurance.
No
So I'm the
savings,
last.
none of that.
Exactly. I'm the last person you want to talk to at first, but when death happens, I'm the first person you want to talk to. The first thing somebody asks you when somebody dies, what? Do they have what? Life insurance. So,
Yeah.
but nobody ever educated like a lot of people about that, like how you can pull money out your life insurance and use for real estate and tax free while you're alive. They don't teach people like that. Waka Flocka talked about it. Patrick David talked about it. Tony Robbins talked about index annuities. I went to Myron Golden event last year. He talked about it, about insurance, why he has $1 million insurance that he can utilize while he's living and not while he's dead. These information is out there, but we don't a lot of times we know what to do with it or we don't believe it. But we idolize and we love people that's talking about it, but we don't do it ourselves. But they tell you. You can look at Waka Flocka talk about it, look about Myron Golden, look about Tony Robbins, you can look about a dude named Matt Sapala. You know what I'm saying? Look at all these people talk about it. You can talk about Shaq. Shaq was like, the best thing was an older white guy told him about an index annuity. That changed his whole life. So the information is out there. We just don't apply it.
So, Moon, how do we change our mindset, though, and our relationship with money when we live in a world where it's constantly telling us on social media we're supposed to spend it on shoes, we're supposed to spend it on a car, we're supposed to spend it on a designer bag? How do we change our relationship with money?
Ask yourself a question. Ask yourself, is it asset or liability? Is it making you money or taking away? Even better. Let me give you even better.
It's making us look good.
Okay, because everything, a sale is emotional, right? Everything we do is emotional, matter of fact,
Yeah.
right? And they know that, right? But ask yourself, you say like somebody said, I got all the Jordans. I got 250 pair of Jordans, say 250 a month, 250 a month times 12 is $3,000. Facts, right? My next question to them is, how much Nike you own? How much shares of Nike you own? You buy it to make the stock better, but don't own a piece of it. So they're like, man, I never thought of it that way. I got Apple, phone, but I own no share of Apple. I play with AI, but I own no AI company. I watch Netflix, but I own no Netflix. Netflix 2012 was like $7 a share. Today it's $983 a share. So imagine you had 5,000 shares of that, or you had 1,000 shares of it, that times that by 983. That's where you'll be at. So the best way to speak God language is simplify it. I'm not here to speak about intricate words and all that. It's about simplify it. Because what your body needs to absorb, when you chew food, you bring it from a complex to something simple for your body to absorb it. I'm here to speak simplicity to help you absorb it. I don't have to be intricate, which I can be, but that's not why I'm here. I'm here to speak God's language. So that's why I asked. I said, you own that, but do you only own any Nike shops? Do you own any? And they're like, man, dog, I never I never thought about that. Cause you got it on you. You got it on you. You got Apple Watch, you got all the Apple, everything on you. You got all that. So I just kept them with analogies like that, and then we have a conversation. But I'm not a stock. I don't do stocks and stuff like that for people. But I know for myself how to talk about myself. But I know other things I could do outside of that for sure.
So okay, that's really really good. So if someone wants to start like getting more involved in stock, like what are some steps that they can take to get involved in it, other than come following you on social media?
Oh, well, I always talk about stocks is not my thing to talk about. That's not my thing. I know I do it for myself. I'm gonna say that. I don't want to do it for nobody else because that's not what my license is in. Talk to a financial advisor for that. But what I would say is just like anything else, you buy courses. You can buy a tax course for like $20, $50. The same thing you pay for Jordans, you can buy a tax course. You can go to YouTube University and relearn a lot of different things. The people I named, Shaq, Waka Flocka, you hear all the people say the same thing. Why they saying the same thing? Because they all run the same groups. So you can really want it, but most people they're informational. They want to be educational. They're informational. They want to be educational. They just want a whole bunch of information and leave it here. They don't want to apply it to their life. It's a reason why your school is called educational system. It's called the educational system because you apply the information they're giving you to make it educational. So I pay for courses. That's one of the best things I started doing. I started reading. If you want to know a good book, you guys out there, read Money, Wealth, and Life Insurance. Money, Wealth, and Life Insurance. A small book, 70 pages. It'll show you how Lockheed Martin they put all their money in life insurance to multiply the income or income protection. They talk about how Walt Disney borrowed from their life insurance when it was in the Great Depression. They pull money out tax-free to keep it afloat. And everybody go to Walt Disney now. Or how Amway utilized it. How Chase Bank has about $24 billion of life insurance. So it's things out there you got to ask yourself why they have that and I don't. Do a bank die? No, but they have it. So you got to ask yourself those questions. So, and that's all it's about.
Nice. I love that. So let's go back through some of these comments. We see Bernadette said, people will put you where they are. They can't do it, so they question your ability. Those are the ones I move away from. I help them to see what's possible. I think that is so true. I think that is so true. Yeah. What do you have anything to say on that?
People will put you where they are. Yeah, because their perspective is low. You have to understand, like, even giving the right message at the wrong time is wrong. I had to learn that. Even giving the right message at the wrong time is still wrong. And that's one of my life lessons I have to learn. Just because you have the right message don't mean it's time to say it or put it into personal life. And that was one of the biggest blows I had to learn myself.
Yeah. And that's something that I've recently learned myself, or I'm practicing now. Like I'm learning.
It's hard,
like
though. It's
I
hard.
told people, it's hard, brother. Because I no lie, at the beginning of 2025, I said, God help me to keep my mouth shut this year. Like I ain't said nothing. I don't want to say nothing to nobody because, like you said, good information, but at the wrong time. So just let people do their thing. Yep. Yeah. Keep it.
My quote is let people do what they want to do to see what they rather do.
Yep. Love it. And then here go this dude here, light and bright. Don't forget it. Marcus, go somewhere.
Oh, my God.
And Levin said the power of the tongue. And then Marcus followed up with speak life and not death. I think that
you gotta speak life, not death, because that's what's gonna be. But like I said, financial is all about learning the rules. Anything you do, right? You open up your iPod, open up your iPhone, you're looking at what instructions. Instructions are rules and rules of engagement to the device that you have, right? So if you want to learn it, you have to know the rules. You can't win a game without knowing the rules. You can't play chess without knowing the rules. You can't play checkers. You have to know the rules. And we know the world of trying to make a lot of money, but not knowing the rules of money. And that's why I make the book called The Psychology of Money and things like that. because these are great things you have to learn. And they know that. And most wealthy people read. They read a lot and apply.
Yeah.
Read and apply.
Yeah. And Darnell, this is Darnell. He said, that's true, bro. People lied and spat on Jesus, and he was perfect. So who are we to think that it can happen to us? I had to learn that. That's a valuable lesson because people don't get it. I mean, and I get it. In real time, it's hard not to make things personal. It's hard not to make things personal. And it hurts when you're going through those things. And you do have to grow through and mature to a place where you realize that, hey, this is really more about them than it is about me. When you ask yourself the why. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I can understand that. I understand anything. I understand it. I can understand why you say that because it's a hard situation to hear at that point, like to internalize it. But like I said, perspective is key. Once you realize, okay, it hurt, but I know this person probably going through something. This person flicked me off, but I know they probably got into it with their wife at the house. You have to look at it that way. And that's what make you have hindsight. You know what I'm saying? You're not having 180, you have a 360 perspective. When you have 180, you just think about one side and you think about yourself. But you have a 360, think about yourself and the other person, and that give you a whole picture. And that's what I have to learn.
I love that. I love that. I love that. So how because you know, and I know when I asked you today, so I ask you again so everyone else can hear. So Amoon, how did your name come about?
So Amoon came from a shaman basically, a high priestess. And Amoon means the one who speaks truth and wisdom. I'm actually related to Ramesses III, the pharaoh. Well, pharaoh's a colonizer name, but we don't say it. Pharaoh, a king. So basically, I have the same DNA as that person as well, and that's what Moon means: the one who speaks truth and wisdom.
Okay, so if you didn't share the same DNA, would you mentally believe that you're a king? Would you live as a king?
I always knew that. I knew that. The way I am, the way I feel, I felt that already.
No. So for the fellas that are out there watching, how do they adopt the king concept and mindset?
Number one, just work on yourself. Like you gotta work on yourself. Know who you are before you can try to know somebody else. That's the biggest thing you have to know. A lot of times we try to reverse engineer it. We try to know somebody else before we know ourselves and wonder why it don't work out. If you knew yourself, you would have made better decisions and get go. You probably won't be in the situation that you are in. But because you was taught to know everything outside of yourself, you have to reverse that engineer. And then now you try to make things connect. You know what I'm saying? It's backwards. So King stand for me is kings and never ending growth. A king never stopped growing. Kings and never ending growth. So that's what you gotta do, keep on growing. Because what grows, what we have to grow. What doesn't grow, die. So as a king, you just gotta know you gotta serve the people before you. But you gotta know who you are first. We're nothing as a go ahead.
No, go.
No, we're nothing without the people. So that's the biggest thing for me. Understand who you are first as a king.
Okay, and when you say serving other people, what do you mean by that?
Serve other people. I always think about this concept: give 3 times before you take once. At one point in my life, I took 3 before I gave once. But my highest self, give 3 times before you take once. That's a thing I keep for myself. I give 3 times, I only take once, and that helps me in the giving spirit, and in the law of reciprocity come back because I give like that, right? And what's your question again? I'm sorry, give me the last part of it.
What did I mean? I think you were right on it, but I was asking, what was I asking? I don't know. I don't forgot myself because I was in there like engulfed in what you were saying and I forgot what I said. So, okay. So adopting the king mindset and the concept, the funny thing with this here, I have one of my best friends and he and we speak all the time. And he's one of those guys. He always talk about, well, men do this here and women do this here. Men do this here. So he was raised up in a time where men were only supposed to provide, take care of their family. That's all he was taught. You're supposed to work, provide, take care of your family. But we live in a different time now where men are more aware of the value that they bring to the table and so forth. So what advice do you have for men to transition their mindset again into like seeing themselves worth more than just putting food on the table? Because, that's some men, that's all they think. That's why they don't say nothing, because I'm not supposed to say nothing because I'm supposed to just provide.
I think that's a slave mentality. I don't think that's a good thing to have. I think that's slavery, because you're neglecting your emotions. You're neglecting your mentality. You're neglecting your spirituality. Um, Mother Earth, Father Sky. You're neglecting all those concepts and just become a physical being. For every, like, for example, for every sickness or thing going on with you, it goes through the spirit first, emotion, mental, and then you see it later on. The last stage is physical. The last stage of everything, when it manifests to the physical, it went through all the other three realms before it got to that point. You just wasn't aware. You just wasn't getting alerts. So you cannot not, what's the word? Try and follow. You cannot not take care of those other spirit, emotional, mental. You cannot just abandon those parts of yourself, because even though you're giving your paycheck, you do all those different things, you gonna feel like shit. And that's why I said back to it. That's why men die, because you wasn't built just to do that. Sometimes even in the Bible, the man will leave the whole family to go do God's purpose. So you never ask for your own purpose. You ask for God's purpose. Your purpose might not be where you are. Nobody ever talks about that, but he told somebody, leave and go to a far land and go do what I told you to do. I know your family here, but go what I told you to do. And sometimes it don't look the way you supposed, look the way you think it's gonna look. You know what I'm saying? So follow a higher spirit than yourself. That's the best thing you can do.
I love
You know what
that.
I'm saying? And don't neglect the other parts of yourself.
I love that. I love that. So, Amoon, so you didn't think, I hope you didn't think we were going to get out of here tonight and I wasn't going to talk about the juice, your book. So how can we get your book and all of that other kind of stuff? Yes,
So
sir.
so the book will be out. I have some physical copies of the book. I got it. I have like two, but I have like a big shipment coming in. But then I'm about to go on put it on YouTube. It'll be not YouTube. I'm sorry. It'll be on uh, Amazon this week. So this week it'll be on there. So and they can get it on you, not YouTube. You said YouTube that one, but it'll be on what you call it coming up on Amazon.
So are you going to be selling copies your own self personally and shipping them out?
Yeah, I'm gonna sign it inside it. It's just a small book. It's a small book. It's about basically, it's about juicing, kind of like how to get your body, how to hydrate your body. Because when you just drink water, you drink blank shots. So I teach people how to juice properly, how to have some recipes. I have some other things, the add-ons on there to help men with their testosterone, to help women with menopause. I have certain things on there too, because I'm also a naturopathic detox therapist too, as well. That's another thing I am. Well, I'm man of many things, but the naturopathic detox therapist is because my mom passed of cancer, and it was something I always like ate a certain way and helped men with their prostate. Like I'm saying, men need to take saw palmetto. They need to take horse chestnut, because a lot of men have enlarged prostates because we don't take care of it. You know what I'm saying? So end up being cancer later on throughout the life, because we don't take care of those type of things. So it came to me to do a book with different recipes and different things we can do to help each other out. And that's something that was near dear to my heart because my mom's situation.
And I love that. And the reason I asked you if you was going to be selling it yourself, because a lot of people don't know this here. When you purchase a book on Amazon, the author or the artist or whatever you're purchasing, they only get a small fraction of it.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
No,
they
that's
only
what I
get a
wanted.
small fraction of it. They
That's
don't
what I
get
wanted
all.
there.
Yeah, if they selling that book for $20, they not getting the whole $20. They may get $3-4 off of that. So we want you to get the money, Moon. So that's why I'm holding you accountable that you're gonna post some videos when you selling
Okay,
them, so people
I
can
am.
get them directly from you.
Okay, I'm gonna do it. Let me put in my notes. I'm gonna make sure I have it for you. I'll make sure. Let me see. Put in my notes right now.
Because you already know I'm spoil you, brother. You already know that. You already know that. So Amoon, what words of encouragement do you have for people as we go home tonight?
Oh,
Well, we
encourage
at home,
words. Okay. Um, Love, oneness, and peace. Love people, become one with yourself, and speak life, not death. Before you say anything, say is it going to add to your spirit or add to a person, or is it taken away? So love, oneness, and peace while I go by, and what you either you go through things or you grow through things.
I love that. Go through things or grow through things. That's a t-shirt. You should get that on the shirt, man.
That's funny. I do like that though.
Yeah, you need to get that on the shirt. So, but Amoon, thank you for being here tonight. Everybody, thank y'all for tuning in. I hope y'all enjoyed this. If you did, please go out and follow Amoon on Instagram. Again, you can follow him at Amoon_Razen. That's spelled AMOON_RAZEN. Go out and follow that brother. And then for those that are watching, make sure you hit that like and share this with your family and your friends. And hey, next Monday is the final episode of season 9. I'm really excited about that. And then season 10, we are coming back stronger than ever. So good night, everyone, and we will see you next week. Peace. Thank you.